Hello everyone, and today we're going to be looking at using a motif in our persuasive writing. Now here's the question that we've been working on for the last few videos, and here are some examples of motifs that you could use in your persuasive writing. These are going to help you to bring coherence or a sense of unity to your work where everything is tied up together, or it could help you to use some imagery or some metaphors throughout your work. Now, to define a motif for you, this is a symbol or an idea which is repeated all the way through the work. And in these examples, you can see I've split them into negatives and positives. So on the negative side, which is much longer, we've got things like viruses, vampires, change, floods, and so on. Chains and cages are probably the thing that you're most familiar with. So for example, you might say that young people are shackled by social media, they're trapped by unrealistic beauty standards, they're unable to free themselves from the pressure of presenting themselves in a certain way online. So that would be using a motif of a chain or a cage to express yourself. You could have positive motifs as well. I don't know why I find it harder to come up with these, but there you go. Anyway, positive ones. So for example, adventure would be a really good one to use if you were writing about education, describing education as an adventure, as a discovery, traveling metaphorically to new lands, that kind of thing. So this is an example of how we could use a motif in a bit of writing about sport. And I've been looking at sport as being the anchor in the storm of life. So I'll just read it for you, see if you can spot where I've used that motif. Don't forget that participating in sport is essential to the development of strong social skills. We live in a chaotic world in which young people face the rough seas of bullying, exam pressure, and financial worries. These negative experiences can batter a young person's self-esteem, threatening their confidence and happiness. Sport can help develop a strong sense of connection, which can't be found in fleeting interactions on social media or in staring mindlessly at yet another TikTok video. The shared experience of working as a team, celebrating victories together, and helping each other through defeat fosters the strong bonds which will hold in turbulent seas, offering a safe harbour for young people to weather the emotional storms they face. Did you spot the motif being used? If you didn't, here it is. We've got chaotic, rough seas, relentlessly battering, threatening, turbulent seas, safe harbour, and storms. So let's take a step back and I'm going to show you how I got this final product. So I was thinking about sport being the anchor, and then I brain dumped some verbs, adverbs, nouns, and adjectives which are to do with storms and anchors and so on. So verbs, that's your action words. So I've got battering, threatening, roaring, crashing, pounding. My adverbs, furiously, ferociously, deafeningly, relentlessly, savagely. My nouns, harbour, anchor, ship, sail, sea. And my adjectives, safe, rough, chaotic, dangerous, and secure. And then I thought, right, well, how would this apply to sport? If sport was an anchor, then it's bringing people into safe harbour, for example. What is the storm of life? Well, young people's lives are being furiously battered by the pressure of social media. They're being relentlessly threatened by the kind of anxiety around exams and so on. So I would then think, right, how can I use these words and phrases to start to build up sentences that would link the ideas together? Okay, so I want you to practice and pause the video. You're going to think about the motif of a flood. You're going to think about how that could describe social media. So brain dump your verbs, that's your action words. I'll get you started. One example would be sweeping, the water is sweeping through. Your adverbs often will end in ly. So think about relentlessly, slowly, quickly. Your nouns, those are your objects, your things. A noun is technically a person, place, thing, or idea. So what kind of objects might you have in a flood? Well, you might have debris in a flood floating around. You might have a flood barrier, for example. And then what adjectives would you use to describe those nouns? So things like dangerous, for example, would be an adjective because it would be describing the flood, or worrying or frightening would be an adjective as well. So pause the video, brain dump your ideas, and then start the video again, and I'll show you what I came up with. Here we go, here's mine. So you can pause the video again and read them through if you want. And now what I want you to do is to stop the video and to write your own paragraph about social media. You're going to put these words together. So, for example, think about social media, is slowly threatening young people's lives as the pressure of having the perfect body image seeps into their brains. You could think about how kind of perfect images on social media are threateningly or insidiously washing away the defenses that are put up against this idea of perfectionism. Okay, so pause the video, have a go, write your paragraph and see how it goes.